Think about the last time someone cost you money. Not a stranger, someone you trusted, a friend you lent to who stopped answering, a partner who walked off with the better end of the deal, a relative who swore they'd pay you back and made you the villain for asking. And the worst part wasn't the money. It was the look on their face when they did it. Calm, like it was nothing, like you were naive, forever expecting better. You replayed it for weeks. What did I miss? How did I not see it coming? And quietly, underneath, a darker thought. Maybe I'm just bad at choosing people. But here's the truth almost no one will tell you. You didn't choose wrong. You played the game wrong. You built something important on trust. And trust was never load-bearing. It was never meant to hold weight. This isn't motivation. Nobody's going to tell you to surround yourself with good people. This is something a man understood 2,300 years ago. A man so coldly honest about human nature that historians today call him the Chinese Machiavelli. Except he came 1,500 years before Machiavelli was born. His name was Han Fei. He lived in an age of pure betrayal. Ministers poisoning kings, brothers murdering brothers for a throne, allies switching sides between sunrise and sunset. He watched it all, and he reached a conclusion that has never once been proven wrong. By the end of this video, you're going to stop blaming yourself for being betrayed and start building a life where betrayal can't reach you in the first place. Let's start with the sentence that changes everything. Han Fei wrote that the skilled ruler does not rely on people choosing to be good. He relies on making it impossible for them to do wrong. Read that twice. He's not saying find good people. He's saying stop depending on goodness at all. Because goodness is a feeling, and feelings change with circumstance. The friend who'd never betray you when they're comfortable. The partner who's perfectly honest, while honesty still pays. You're not trusting a person. You're trusting their situation to never change. And situations always change. Han Fei said something that sounds brutal until you've lived it. He said the bond between a ruler and his ministers is not held together by blood or love. It's held together by interest. The minister serves because it benefits him to serve. The moment it benefits him more to betray, he betrays. Not because he's evil, because that's the machinery. Now hear how far this goes. Han Fei even applied it inside families. He pointed out that parents who have a son celebrate, and parents who have a daughter in his time sometimes did not. Same parents, same love, but different calculations about future benefit. He wasn't being cruel. He was refusing to look away from something the rest of us spend our lives pretending isn't there. So what do you actually do with this? You stop running your finances on trust, and you start running them on structure. That's the whole shift. Let me show you what it looks like. First, put it in writing. Always. The friendliest handshake deal is the one that ends friendships. When everything is verbal, both sides remember it differently the moment money's involved, and they're not lying. Memory genuinely bends toward self-interest. Han Fei would tell you the document isn't an insult to the relationship. The document is what protects the relationship because it removes the temptation to remember things in your own favor. Second, never put someone in a position where betraying you is the smart move. If your entire savings sit somewhere one person can quietly drain, you haven't found a trustworthy person. You've built a trap and you're hoping no one walks into it. Han Fei's principle: don't hope the temptation gets resisted. Remove the temptation. Structure things so that the honest path is also the profitable one. And betrayal simply doesn't pay. Third, separate the relationship from the transaction. You can love someone and still not co-sign their loan. You can respect a partner and still split ownership clearly on paper. People who blend the two, who think asking for clarity means showing distrust, are the ones who lose both the money and the relationship. The clarity is what lets the relationship survive the money. Pause for a second. Think about one arrangement in your life right now that's running purely on trust. No paper, no structure, just your hope that the other person stays good. One word for how exposed that makes you. Hold it in your mind, because most people have never once looked at it directly. Now, here's where people push back. They say, "That's such a cold way to live. I don't want to treat everyone like a suspect." And I understand it, but you've got it backwards. Han Fei's way isn't colder, it's kinder, because the person who runs on blind trust is constantly secretly resentful, keeping score, feeling betrayed, suspicious underneath the smile. The person who runs on clear structure can actually relax. They don't need to monitor your heart, because the arrangement doesn't depend on your heart. Clear terms don't poison relationships. Unspoken expectations do. The naive person and the cynical person are actually making the same mistake. They both think the answer is in the other person's character. The naive one bets it's good. The cynic bets it's bad. Han Fei says stop betting on character entirely. Build the structure, and character stops mattering. And here's the part that costs people the most. The single most dangerous person to trust blindly is you. You also act on interest. You also bend the truth toward what's convenient. The version of you at 11 p.m. with a credit card and a good excuse is not the version of you who made the budget. Han Fei's whole philosophy was, don't trust the ruler's mood. Build laws that hold even when the ruler is weak. Apply that to yourself. Don't trust future you to be disciplined. Automate the saving before future you can feel anything about it. Lock the long-term money somewhere that's genuinely inconvenient to reach. You're not building a system to control other people. You're building one that survives your own worst night. So let's go back to where we started. Someone cost you money, and you blamed yourself for trusting them, but now you see it. The mistake was never your judgment of that one person. The mistake was building something that depended on anyone's goodness staying constant in a world where nothing stays constant. You don't have to become paranoid. You don't have to see enemies everywhere. You just have to stop asking people to be better than their incentives. And start building so their incentives point your way. So don't think about who betrayed you. Think about who you're becoming, not someone who trusts less. Someone who needs to trust less because they finally built their life on something that holds. And here's the thing, Han Fei was only one of them. China produced an entire generation of minds who saw this game with the same cold clarity. The merchant who got rich 3 times and walked away with his fortune intact. The strategists who moved kingdoms with nothing but words. We're decoding every one of them, one mind at a time. If this changed how you see one relationship in your life, even slightly, then you understand why most people will keep getting burned, keep blaming themselves, and keep changing nothing. A few won't. Decide which one you are.